Tuesday, 14th of August 2012. Morning. I found myself standing in front of my wardrobe, staring for the 100th time at a rack of pretty clothes, the perfect wardrobe for the manager of a small but cutting-edge art gallery. Nothing in it says nanny. God, even the word makes me want to gag. I put on jeans and a t-shirt, scrape my hair back. I don't even bother putting on any makeup. There's no point, is there, preaching myself to spend all day with a baby. I flounce downstairs, half spoiling for a fight. Scott's making coffee in the kitchen. He turns to me with a grin and my mood lifts instantly. I rearrange my pout to a smile. He hands me a coffee and kisses me. There's no sense blaming him for this. It was my idea. I volunteered to do it, to become a childminder for the people down the road. At the time, I thought it might be fun. Completely insane, really. I must have been mad, bored, mad, curious. I wanted to see. I think I got the idea after I heard her yelling out in the garden, and I wanted to know what was going on. Not that I've asked, of course. You can't really, can you? Scott encouraged me. He was over the moon when I suggested it. He thinks spending time around babies will make me broody. In fact, it's doing exactly the opposite. When I leave the house, I run home, can't wait to strip my clothes off and get into the shower and wash the baby smell off me. I long for my days at art at the gallery, prettied up, hair done, talking to adults about art or films or anything at all. Nothing at all would be a step up from my conversations with Anna. God, she's dull. You get the feeling that she probably had something to say for herself once upon a time, but now everything is about the child. Is she warm enough? Is she too warm? How much milk did she take? And she's always there, so most of the time I feel like a spare part. My job is to watch the child while Anna rests, to give her a break. A break from what exactly? She's weirdly nervous too. I'm constantly aware of her, hovering, twitching. She flinches every time a train passes, jumps when the phone rings. They're just so fragile, aren't they? She says, and I can't disagree with that. I leave the house and walk leaden-legged the 50 yards along the Blenheim Road to the house. No skip in my step. Today she doesn't open the door. It's him, the husband. Tom, suited and booted, off to work. He looks handsome in his suit. Not Scott handsome. He's smaller and paler, and his eyes are a little too close together when you see him up close. But he's not bad. He flashes me his wide Tom Cruise smile. And then he's gone, and it's just me and her and the baby. Thursday, 16th of August 2012. Afternoon. I quit. I feel so much better, as if anything is possible. I'm free. I'm sitting on the terrace waiting for the rain. The sky is black above me, swallows looping and diving. The air is thick with moisture. Scott will be home in an hour or so, and I'll have to tell him. He only will be pissed off for a minute or two. I'll make it up to him. And I won't just be sitting around the house all day. I've been making plans. I could do a photography course or set up a market stall, sell jewelry. I could learn to cook. I had a teacher at school who told me once that I was a mistress of self-reinvention. I didn't know what he was on about at the time. I thought he was trying it on, but I've since come to like the idea. Runaway lover, wife, waitress, gallery manager, nanny, and a few more in between. So, who do I want to be tomorrow? I didn't really mean to quit. The words just came out. We were sitting there around the kitchen table, Anna with a baby on her lap, and Tom had popped back to pick something up, so he was there too, drinking a cup of coffee, and it just seemed ridiculous. There was absolutely no point in me being there. Worse than that, I felt uncomfortable, as if I was intruding. I found another job, I said without really thinking about it. So I'm not going to be able to do this any longer. Anna gave me a look. I don't think she believed me. She just said, "Oh, that's a shame." And I could tell she didn't mean it. She looked relieved. She didn't even ask me what the job was, which was a relief because I hadn't thought up a convincing lie. Tom looked mildly surprised. He said, "We'll miss you." But that's a lie, too. The only person who'll really be disappointed is Scott, so I have to think of something to tell him. Maybe I'll tell him Tom was hitting on me. That will put an end to it. Thursday, 20th September 2012, morning. It's just after 7. It's chilly out here now, but it's so beautiful like this. All these strips of garden side by side, green and cold, and waiting for fingers of sunshine to creep up from the tracks and make them all come alive again. I've been up for hours. I can't sleep. I haven't slept in days. I hate this. Hate insomnia more than anything. It's lying there, brain going round. Tick, 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 tick. I itch all over. I want to shave my head. I want to run. I want to take a road trip in a convertible with the top down. I want to drive to the coast, any coast. I want to walk on a beach. Me and my big brother were going to be road trippers. We had such plans, Ben and I. Well, they were Ben's plans mostly. He was such a dreamer. We were going to ride motorbikes from Paris to the Côte d'Azur and all the way down to the Pacific coast of the USA from Seattle to Los Angeles. We were going to follow in the Che Guevara tracks from Buenos Aires to Caracas. Maybe if I'd done all that, I wouldn't have ended up here not knowing what to do next. Or maybe if I'd done all that, I'd have ended up exactly where I am and I would be perfectly contented. But I didn't do all that, of course, because Ben never got as far as Paris. He never even made it as far as Cambridge. He died on the A10, his skull crushed beneath the wheels of an articulated lorry. I miss him every day, more than anyone, I think. He's the big hole in my life, in the middle of my soul. Or maybe he was just the beginning of it. I don't know. I don't even know whether all of this is really about Ben or whether it's about everything that happened after that and everything that's happened since. All I know is 1 minute I'm ticking along fine and life is sweet and I want for nothing and the next I can't wait to get away. I'm all over the place, slipping and sliding again. So I'm going to see a therapist, which could be weird, but it could be a laugh too. I've always thought that it might be fun to be Catholic, to be able to go to the confession and unburden yourself and have someone tell you that they forgive you, to take all the sin away, wipe the slate clean. This is not quite the same thing, of course. I'm a bit nervous, but I haven't been able to get to sleep lately, and Scott's been on my case too. I told him I find it difficult enough talking to people I know about this stuff. I can barely even talk to you about it. He said, "That's the point. You can say anything to strangers, but that isn't completely true. You can't just say anything." Poor Scott. He doesn't know the half of it. He loves me so much and it makes me ache. I don't know how he does it. I would drive me mad. But I have to do something, and at least it feels like action. All those plans I had, photography course and cookery classes, when it comes down to it, they feel a bit pointless, as if I'm playing a real life instead of actually living it. I need to find something that I must do, something undeniable. I can't do this. I can't just be a wife. I don't understand how anyone does it. There's literally nothing to do but wait for a man to come home and love you. Either that or look around for something to distract you. I've been kept waiting. The appointment was half hour ago and I'm still here sitting in the reception room, flicking through folk, thinking about getting up and walking out. I know doctors' appointments run over, but therapists? Films have always led me to believe that they kick you out the moment your 50 minutes are up. I suppose Hollywood isn't really talking about the kind of therapist you get referred to on the NHS. I'm just about to go up to the reception and tell her that I've waited long enough, I'm leaving, when the doctor's office door swings open and this very tall, lanky man emerges looking apologetic and holding out his hand to me. Mrs. Hipwell, I am so sorry to have kept you waiting, he says. And I just smile at him and tell him it's alright, and I feel in this moment that it will be alright because I've only been in his company for a minute or two, and I already feel soothed. I think it's the voice, soft and low, slightly accented, which I was expecting because his name is Dr. Kamal Abdich. I guess he must be mid-30s, although he looks very young with his incredible dark honey skin. He has hands I could imagine on me, long and delicate fingers. I can almost feel them on my body. We don't talk about anything substantial, it's just the introductory session, the getting to know you stuff. He asks me what the trouble is, and I tell him about the panic attacks, the insomnia, the fact that I lie awake at night too frightened to fall asleep. He wants me to talk a bit more about that, but I'm not ready yet. He asks me whether I take drugs, drink alcohol. I tell him that I have other voices these days, and I catch his eye, and I think he knows what I mean. I have other vices these days, and I catch him, and I think he knows what I mean. Then I feel as if I ought to be taking this a bit more seriously, so I tell him about the gallery closing, and that I feel a loose end all the time, my lack of direction, the fact that I spend too much time in my head. He doesn't talk much, just the occasional prompt, but I want to hear him speak, so I'm leaving. I ask him where he's from. Maidstone, he says, in Kent, but I moved to Curly a few years back. He knows that wasn't what I was asking. He gives me a wolfish smile. Scott is waiting for me when I get home. He thrusts a drink into my hand. He wants to know all about it. I say it was okay. He asks me about a therapist. That I like him. Did he seem nice? Okay, I say, again, but I don't want to sound too enthusiastic. He asked me whether we talked about Ben. Scott thinks everything is about Ben. He may be right. He may know me better than I think he does.